my dad hates this story. Really doesn't like it. Has like every time I tell it, he's like, well, I mean, you don't have to tell him that I got knocked out. But, so it's just imagine you're my father back home listening to this and, and just be uncomfortable. That's what I want the audience to do as they listen to my story.
Hello, and welcome to Prompt, a podcast for people who love stories. My name is Amy B., and I'm a writer and one of the co-creators of In a Nutshell, a monthly storytelling show in Sacramento, California. My co-creators are the world-class comedian Lowell Jensen and the ska defender music journalist Aaron Carnes. We get to hear all kinds of great stories, and we want you to hear them too. So every episode, we'll play you a true personal story told at one of our shows, and then we'll talk to the storyteller to not only find out more about the person behind the story, but also discover why they tell the stories they tell.
Hello, everybody. This is Nutshell co-creator Aaron Carnes, and this story we're going to listen to today is by Beau Ryder Davis, who has done 3 stories so far in a nutshell. This one is the very first one he told, and in fact, it is the very first story ever told in a nutshell. He was our first storyteller at our very first show. It's a delightful story about his childhood growing up in Hazard, Kentucky, and a funny story related to his dad and learning about how maybe he didn't fit in very well with some of his peers, but he was a lot more like his dad than he realized. We are currently retooling the podcast a bit and changing the name. We had 3 remaining interviews already recorded, so this is one of those 3. So give it a listen. We're going to play you the full episode. Normally, we only play part of the interview, and then the rest of it is available for Substack subscribers. So we're going to let you hear what a full episode sounds like so that maybe you'll consider subscribing, becoming a paid subscriber. And when we go forward after these 3 episodes, you can listen to entire episodes as well.
How y'all doing? Oh, it's nice to meet y'all. This is the first time I'm on stage in Sacramento. I like your town a lot. I am from Kentucky. I'm from Hazard, Kentucky. Woo! Well, that really steps on what I was about to say. I was about to say I'm from Hazard, Kentucky, which is a much worse place. But that guy's a big fan. You can tell Hazard's a little worse from the name. Hazard, as in stay away, and Kentucky, as in stay away. But when I was growing up in Hazard, Kentucky, on my dad's side of the family, it was just guys, big, burly dudes, almost exclusively men. There were a lot of jokes that Davis family genes couldn't produce a woman, and a lot of more quietly said jokes that I was the closest to a woman those genes had ever produced, which sounds a little weird, because I look fairly masculine. I have this beard. I look like if Ed Sheeran brewed beer at home, And I know I look like that because I was told that by an employee at a Dunkin' Donuts. When I showed up to buy donuts for myself, which is already a low point, and he just sort of piled on. He was just like, you look like Ed Sheeran, but worse. America runs on Dunkin'. The only thing that was running that day were the tears down my face. That's the joke I had written there, but it always makes people go, oh, so I don't know. Anyway, so I'm getting off topic. I don't look very feminine, but at the time those jokes were said, I was a sprightly young child about yay high, who was often referred to as whimsical. That was the descriptor that kept reoccurring. I was like Keith's suit as a person. I was just a whimsical little boy. They would come pick me up from like another kid's house, and the parents would go, he's just a whimsical child, which was not what I was going for. I was going for like cool and manly, like cool and manly, and I kept coming up Sugar Plum Prince, which was not what you want if you live in Hazard, Kentucky. I understand why they referred to me as whimsical. I did have certain behaviors. This is the only thing I'm going to tell you tonight that actually embarrasses me. But when I would meet new people, like you, for example, if I were to meet you, I would not like put up my hand or ask your name. Instead, I would put my feet together and take a deep bow. I would hold it for this long. And then I would bend my knees slightly, and in this bad British accent go, Beau Ryder Davis at your service. That's what I would do to new people. Made sure they never wanted to interact with me again. And I think my family saw that and said, well, we could call that whimsical. That is one way to describe whatever the fuck that was without using a slur. So like, we'll just go with that. It wasn't the only thing either. There was the time that like I found a baby bird who had fallen out of a nest, and I walked up to the nearest adult who I did not know, and I said, a bird has deaded itself. We need to tell the village. And I went door to door throughout the entire neighborhood, relaying the news, which, in fairness, was probably the most exciting thing that happened in Hazard that week. So I did have to tell everyone. And then the last thing was that I played baseball, which is not the embarrassing part. I played baseball, and one year my dad's company, Hazard Furniture, which remember, we're in Hazard. It's not Dangerous Furniture, but that was the name, Hazard Furniture. They sponsored the team, and I don't even know how to describe it. This isn't even whimsical. It's just psychotic. If I would make a big play, like I'd make a big hit or a big catch, I would just stop the motion and say, that play was brought to you by Hazard Furniture. Hazard Furniture, the one-stop shop for all your furnishing needs, which wasn't even the slogan. I just made that up. I could see a few of you like, that's not whimsical. That's just, there's something wrong. And what's crazy, I didn't get bullied at any point. I think it was so off-putting, even the bullies were like, leave that one alone. He's a wild card. They would just be like, you're not gay. You're not straight. You're like some sort of intermediate point that we don't know if scientifically exists yet. And you'll realize that one day. That was kind of the general approach to bullies. They were more concerned with anything. Like they were just like, we just want you to accept yourself. Like it was strange. So I was whimsical, but the men on my dad's side of the family were not whimsical. They were musical. They were like rock gods. They all looked like deep-fried disciples. They looked like if instead of following Jesus, the apostles followed like Cletus of Nazareth, Cletus of Nashville, something like that. They all had like long hair and big bushy beards and questionable hygiene, and they all played in the same kind of bands. They played that real shit, man. That real shit, that down home, gritty, funky, rootsy Southern rock. The kind of shit that's real and true and never makes any money ever. That's what we're playing. Get ready for a 15-minute guitar solo on a song called "Oh Yeller Caught Bronchitis," like that. It was like Fish for people with mullets. It's like Fish for people who need to check the family tree to make sure there's no overlapping branches as they go on that second date. And I'm not making fun of it. I did that. I had to do that. I'm joking. I never had a date. So, and I don't mean to make fun of them. These were the coolest people in the world to me. I adored them. At every family event, I would just be attached at the hip, and I would sit there and listen to them talk and hope that some of the cool or the masculinity would shower down on me, and it did not. It never did. It was me standing in a group holding like a Capri Sun, trying to find when I could talk, and I never could. It was just me standing there, because they were talking about girls and songs, and I would come over like, anyone play any good Pokemon recently? Thoughts on Squirtle? No, they had no thoughts on Squirtle. So I was locked out of the combo, and I would leave those events feeling sort of crestfallen and like, I just can't break through. There's something they have that I don't. Maybe it's from guitar, because they all played guitar. And I never picked up a guitar until one night. Now, on this night, I am in my mom and dad's room. My little brothers are playing basketball on the back of like a goal that's on the back of an open door. And they hear a bump in the closet. Now, I think I see some parents out there. When your kids hear a bump in the closet, is there ever anything in the closet? No, there's never anything in the closet. There was a bat in the closet. There was a flapping live bat in the closet. Now, before you ask, this isn't like a Kentucky thing. We don't keep bats in the closet. We keep ourselves in the closet, but that's an entirely different thing. What we did not know is at the time, our attic had been colonized by, rough estimation, 1 billion bats. 1 billion bats. It looked like whatever rung of hell in Dante's Inferno had the bats. I know someone's out there like, it's the 5th rung. Whatever it was, that rung, it looked like that. And one of them, the explorer bat, a bat scout of sorts, was sent out to, check out the perimeter and went down a air vent and ended up in their closet. So they opened the closet, and a nightmare came out, like an actual nightmare. So they screamed, and they ran into my mom and dad's room, and I'm in there. My dad goes, "There's not a monster in your room." And then he left, and he came back and said, "There's a monster in your room. I need some muscle to help deal with this." So I pointed to Mom, and Mom pointed to me, and Dad pointed to me, and he said, "Son, tonight's the night you become a man," which I thought would involve losing my virginity, and I was a little disappointed. I was like, I don't think I can fight a bat and become a man. I thought it'd be more fun than this. It was also a strange thing for my dad to say, because my dad was just as whimsical as me. He was a funny little guy. He was a bald, mustachioed furniture salesman from Hazard, Kentucky. I love him. Great dad. But once we were going through the Dairy Queen drive-thru, and he asked for a sundae, and they asked if he wanted extra nuts, and he said, "Yippee!" He's not the manly man needed for this task. He's just not. He's not up to it. He's a yippee boy. That's not what he does. I was looking at him like, we could just go play Pokemon. We don't have to do that. Let the bat have that room. Honestly, the bat's shown a lot of initiative. It's worked very hard to get in here. Let's board it up, leave it for them, and we can go play Game Boy. And he was like, "No, we have to protect our family. It's what we do as men. So we need to armor up." So we went to the toy room, because that's the closest thing we had to weapons in our house was misused toys. And I walked into the toy room. My dad got a golf club and a tennis racket. I got a baseball bat and a guitar, but not a guitar you could play. This was made for the musically inept. It was a kind of hollow feeling purple plastic guitar with buttons on the neck, and when you pressed a button, it would play a sound as if you played a sick riff. It would sound like diddle-a-dow, like that. And I had inadvertently picked the sickest weapon, because when you swung it, you kind of had to press a button. You just had to. So every time I didn't know this at the time, but I was soon to be going biddle-a-down, 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 trying to take out this bat. And I'm not like a big war guy, but if that's what war was like, I would be very pro-war. Just thousands of guys just biddle-a-down, biddle-a-down, biddle-a-down. It'd be great entertainment. So I find myself preparing to go in there, back pressed against the wall, my toys in hand, and I realize we do not have a plan. And I look at my father, and I'm shaking. And I'm like, do we have a plan? And my dad is trying to make me feel better. And he's doing this fake machismo thing. And he's like, "Plan? Oh, we got a plan. We're going to go in there and kill that son of a bitch dead." Which is not too much of a curse, but that was the first time I'd ever heard my dad curse in front of me. And it was like he was letting me in to manhood. The little fire that was lit in that chubby little hillbilly's heart that day, the whimsy died immediately. I think I grew this beard on the spot. I think it just popped out. And I let out like a Viking yell. I was like, "Ah!" And he went, "Ah!" And we turned and we charged into the room, toys akimbo, towards our fate, towards this servant of Satan, this winged serpent, this bat. And this bat turned around, and the bat looked at us, and that bat rolled its eyes, and that bat kicked our ass. This bat had seen war before. This bat had been in combat. Bat had gone to Nam or something. He was not worried about us. So as we're trying to hit it, the bat is just gliding through all of our shots. We can't lay a finger on it. I'm just biddle-a-down, biddle-a-down, biddle. I realize now that I picked a weapon that made sound, and bats use echolocation. So it was my first time fighting a bat. I didn't know not to do that. So it sounds like we're just hitting the sickest guitar solo you've ever heard in there. Just biddle-a-down, biddle-a-down, biddle-a-down. And we're not hitting anything. And we're getting tired. We thought this would be a couple-second ordeal, and it's like a minute at this point, which is a long time to be swinging at a bat. And the bat makes a decision. It turns and flies in between me and my dad, and I realize, oh my God, this is it. This bat's coming down home plate. This is my shot. I rooted my feet to the ground. I put every bit of power I had in my stringy little body into this arm. I flipped my hips and I exploded through. And I swung for glory. And I swung for manhood. And I heard two sounds. I heard biddle-a-down, and then I heard and I stood there and I looked at what I'd done. And in horror I realized I'd knocked my father unconscious. Oh, yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I'll take an applause line. Shit, why not? It's not the end of the show. The next week was Thanksgiving. The bat wasn't there, because after I knocked my dad out, the bat flew out an open window. That's what he did. Which probably should have been the plan. Dad is to open a window. My dad was there with a big bandage over his ear that I was hoping no one was going to ask him about, and I was in the corner playing Pokemon, praying that this event would be over, and I would not have to speak to anyone about the bat incident. And as I'm playing, I suddenly feel like I'm being watched, and I look up. I have been soundlessly surrounded by my cousins, like a horror film, like they were all in robes or something, were just there. And the lead cousin, Luke, is drinking a Killian's Red Ale, and he takes a swig, and he goes, "So we heard tell that you tried to fight a bat with a guitar." I said, yeah. Yeah. And he went, "And in so doing, you knocked your daddy out." And I said, "Yeah, that's what happened." He goes, "Buddy, that's the most hard rock shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Let's get you a beer." Hold on. Hey, I'll take two. The next week, Luke started teaching me how to play guitar for real. Thank you all.
The most annoying part of that story is that before I walked on stage to give it, I was in the back thinking I was like big time, and I literally said showtime, and I threw on my denim jacket, and I threw it on with such force it popped the collar, and I walked on stage the entire time. I did the entire story like I was like a lost Ramon. I just looked so stupid the entire time. It's also weird for me, like I was just a whimsical little child when I just a popped
You're still
collar.
whimsical.
Just a popped collar. So yeah, it got popped more and more as the night went on too, which was not great.
You mean after the show?
No, it's like as the story goes, you can see the popping intensify.
Okay, I was just...
You were
No.
taking a dig at my suit while
Well,
standing
I
there in
said
a
it was
popped
whimsical.
collar.
Dang.
I loved that suit. It just was whimsical.
No, I take whimsical as a compliment.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question.
Yeah.
The first question is, what kind of music do you listen to?
Like right now.
Yeah.
So I have a healthy mix of hip hop music and like bedroom pop that like a cool 16-year-old girl at a school might like. My friends have always described it as like, if I accidentally feel like my little cousin has been here listening to music, it's like, oh no, it's Beau's playlist. This is Beau's playlist.
Okay.
So yeah, healthy mix. That part's still whimsical, I guess. Yeah.
Because and what did you mean by? I think Aaron, you had a question about the rock, the kind of rock.
Yeah. So, could you elaborate a little bit on the kind of music that your cousins play?
Yeah. So like they were disciples of like a lot of Southern rock bands. Allman Brothers was always playing, Skynyrd. But like what they would actually listen to would be like weirdly underground Georgia bands. There's like every song felt like it was 20 minutes. I was also just a kid, so it might have been 5 minutes, but it felt incredibly long. A lot of kind of jazz influence to it. And my cousin had a band called Loose Change, and I remember going to one. I had a Loose Change shirt, and I thought since they had their name on a shirt, they were fucking huge. Like I went to DC on a family trip, and I just kept asking random people, and have you heard of Loose Change? It's my cousin.
And then
in
you
Loose
pointed at your
Change.
shirt.
I was like, it's in Loose Change. Have you heard him? And going back and listening to their stuff, I was like, no one listened to this band. This is like aggressively, almost abrasive to the listener. Like, who's going to want to get into this? He ended up playing in Nashville for a little bit. I think he's the guitarist on one song that hit the #1 spot on the country charts. And then he was kicked out of the band for reasons we can't go into on a podcast. That's teasing for later. Maybe I'll tell you. I'll text Luke and say, "Can I tell him how you fucked up?"
Was this the only kind of music around you, or is there a variety of music?
So my parents, I got really lucky because, like in Kentucky, growing up in Hazard, I could have been raised on just. I can curse on this.
Yes,
Dog shit. And my mom and dad, like the main music in rotation was Steely Dan, Sade, Fleetwood Mac. Those are the
Oh,
big
nice.
three
Fleetwood Mac,
in the
that's good.
household. Yeah. And we're still Steely Dan folks. There's a lot of Dan going.
You got like two people that don't like Steely Dan here.
Do you like Steely
I
Dan?
like Steely Dan.
Okay.
He's lying to
I
you.
don't love the Steely Dan.
He doesn't want to create a podcast atmosphere in which the three
Steely Dan.
main hosts
I'm on your
are
side.
against me. Okay.
Steely Dan is one of those bands where I know so many people who I really respect their taste in music, and our taste overlap so much
Yeah.
that I can't dismiss them. Like Kiss, I'll just go, oh, they suck. But Steely Dan, I'm like,
R.I.P. By the way.
they just don't. Oh yeah, bad timing.
That was
isn't
that
it?
was tough.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
tough for
sorry.
you to do that.
Steely Dan, it doesn't resonate with
Doesn't
me
connect with you.
emotionally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. They're super talented, almost too talented. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, stop being so talented.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
It's a little too perfect. There's
Yeah.
definitely songs that are a little too perfect. I think it's great though when like the song that's a little too perfect is about some sleazeball,
Right.
and I think that's what makes it good to me. The roughness is the characters in the story, and this is welcome back to our Steely Dan podcast.
And it was nice that they talked shit on John Lennon
That was sick.
during
Yeah.
a period where people would not talk shit on John Lennon.
Yeah.
It was cool they went after him.
So you told us a little bit at the front, like how your dad feels about your story. But what about the rest of your family? Have they heard it?
Oh, they love this story. I mean, this is one of the ones that gets told a lot at family gatherings. Because all we do is like at a family gathering, it's just, okay, we eat and then people start drinking. And then it's like, okay, who's going to tell the 17 stories we tell every time we get together? And it's like, I've got a few, but everyone else in the family has
That's
a
like
few.
a big rite of passage when
Yeah.
you have one of the stories.
And I had none for so
Right.
long.
No, my family is very similar. You did mention drinking, and I want to real quick, we can come back. But I want to know what you're drinking. Can you please tell us what happened tonight, this monumental event?
So much. So I made a joke about making a cocktail for my hometown of Hazard, Kentucky, and
I love the way you turn the accent up to say the name of your hometown.
just out of respect. Out of respect. It's been a big week for Hazard. I
Yeah.
was doing a show and somebody said they were from Hazard,
Nice.
and then I matched with someone on a dating app and they said I've been to Hazard multiple times, and now I've made the Hazard. This is huge for us. This is the biggest week.
Do you want
for
to tell
us.
our listeners what's in the Hazard?
Well, the Hazard, that's okay. It's a riff on the Manhattan, of course. And honestly, I'm a little restrained in what I have ingredient wise, or I would have taken more down home
No, that's
ingredients. But
good. That's like saying a haiku is restraint. That's good restraint.
that's what makes it
Yeah.
great.
Great.
It's just 2 ounces of bourbon. I used Old Forester, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, and then about a 1/4 ounce each of elderflower liqueur, Saint Germain, and Bruto Americano, which is like a bitter, and it's great.
All right. That's the
Make it at
Hazard.
home, not kids. Make it at home, adults.
We're gonna have that as a featured drink in a nutshell.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, is it sweet?
Well, I mean, they tried it. What do you think?
It's not sweet, no.
No.
Okay.
It's kind of fiery.
All right.
Yeah.
I give you back your podcast now.
Well, you were already kind of talking about, so you do visit frequently?
So I used to. My parents just moved out of Hazard last year.
And where'd they go?
Florida, because there's
Yeah.
a contractual obligation that everyone born in Kentucky must spend at least 1 year of their life in Florida, and
Oh,
they're just trying to
okay.
get it out of the way.
So where are they going to go after that?
No, I think they're going to stay, unfortunately. I'm not
Okay.
happy about that.
All right.
Unless you all listen, and I love that. No, they're outside of Tampa in a place called Newport Richey, which is lovely, and it's a great neighborhood, and they love being down there. They've wanted to be by the water forever. But,
Cool.
it's Florida.
I want to ask about your relationship with Hazard, if I can, because
Mm-hmm.
we were talking earlier about once you get to know someone, you kind of give them more shit. Because
Mhm.
you gave me some shit,
Mhm.
and it kind of caught me off guard.
I noticed you didn't wear the hat tonight.
No, it's in the car. It was too hot.
Uh-huh.
I grew this mustache to go specifically with that hat. You will not shame me out of my hat. But yeah, and you said that's like that's when we're really friends.
Yeah.
When you can like give someone shit.
Uh-huh.
You give Hazard a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But I come in your house and there's a Kentucky Wildcats thing on the wall and a little map of Hazard on cloth somewhere else. You love Hazard. You love where you're from.
No, it's really frustrating because I love it so much.
Okay.
Like when I'm back home, it's a complicated relationship because I recognize like just how weird Hazard is. Like I wouldn't be nearly as interesting. Not that I even think I'm
Right.
that interesting, but like, what little interesting there is because I was raised in a town where the principal was also the mayor.
Right.
Like the principal of my high school was also the guy who ran the town. Shout out Happy Mabellini. And just
and his
weird
name was
stuff
Happy
happened.
Mabellini.
Yeah.
Holy
What's give us some more hazard facts.
Some more hazard. We named the least happy town in America by Dr. Oz in 2007,
Mhm.
and it's the only thing Dr. Oz ever got right. Thanks. I was not on. I quit football right before we won a state championship. But in 2012, Hazard football won the state championship. School less than 300 kids. We're pretty good. Single A state championship. It seems. We count that. We count that around here. We count that. I don't know. It's a town full of really interesting people. And as I've gotten out into the world, I think I took that for granted when I was a kid. I was like, there was a lot of weirdos in like a really cool way in that town. And
Do you see yourself living there again?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I don't know how much you want to use on this, but it's like growing up, the median household income was about like $25,000, and it's improved but barely. You know, it's just it's a whole area that has just traditionally been a great reason why you don't give companies too much power.
Yeah.
Coal companies
So
can
it's
come
depressed.
in there.
Is it secluded too? I mean, is it? You said, isn't there something called Hell's Bump or something like just down
Hell's
the
for certain.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. There's a town close by called Hell's for certain. If you Google that now, it says, "Do you mean Dry Hill, Kentucky?" No, they've tried to rebrand Hell's for
Nice.
certain.
Okay.
The Wikipedia still says it, so I'm not crazy. But yeah, and there's also Mud Lick, which is where my friend
Right.
Josh lived. Shout out Josh. Great town names.
I remember you when I saw you after the show, you said that was the first time that you had said some of the dad stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the.
So you ad-libbed it, or was that spur of the moment? How did that happen?
No, I just thought it was like, I think it could work here. I had tried that story a couple other times at the Herps Theater, as a part of Back Pocket, and at one of the Redwood Nights shows. So I'd done it a couple other times, but I just hadn't gone as much on like my dad also being sort of a whimsical character.
Mhm.
And I was like, it's perfect though, because he's honestly, I got, again, very lucky. Growing up in there, you'd get a lot of like classic masculine sort of dads that were just awful people. And my dad was just not that masculine in a good way. Like he was like, yeah, you don't have to do that shit.
I feel like in a way this story was like the friendliest, most polite takedown on masculinity. Like just super nice, super polite, but it was a takedown.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. You know, all of my stuff is very subversive. And
you need to flip your hair when you say that.
I have a political agenda.
We knew it.
Have you always been comfortable with and liked the character of young Beau? Yeah, we were just a couple episodes ago talking to Amy about this, about a lot of your stories are about this person you used to be. And you kind of got to learn to for a lot of us, you got to learn to appreciate that person.
Yeah.
And yet there's something about your telling of that little Beau that he just seems he just seemed pretty comfortable in his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sort of sad that I remember like the day I stopped being that Beau. Like I remember very clearly.
What do you mean?
What happened?
So there's my friend Jesse, who's hilarious. It was hilarious. He's so funny. But he was mean funny. And I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could be funny by being mean. And I saw him, in his element, and it was irresistible. I was like, I can't say that's not funny. He was just
so
roasting
you sold your soul
people.
to the devil?
Yeah, and I remember he was just making fun of people, and it was killing. And I was like, I want to learn the dark arts. How do I do such a thing? It really is. But like,
and then you became a marketer.
And then I became a marketer. Yeah, this was the slow
downfall.
downfall. It's
in
learning.
case we're doing too much inside baseball, I want to catch everyone up at home. Beau works selling chili. Your markets.
That's
Damn.
not at all. Yeah, sure. In a way, Yeah.
He has a chili cart.
I have a chili cart. I
He
take it
scoops out
around town.
chili.
I go, chili here, chili here.
Ladles.
Yeah.
He calls it marketing because it sounds better.
I go through
In a
4
bar.
ladles a week. The chili's so hot.
4 ladles.
It burns through.
You're not selling much.
No, he didn't mean
Thanks
4
for
ladles
rubbing it
full
in.
of chili. He means he wears the ladles out.
Yeah, the
I
ladles
thought
actually.
it was like
the-
4 ladles.
Wear and
No,
tear.
he
Just-
has a ladle of the month club subscription.
Listen, business could be better. I'm not saying it couldn't be better.
He should set up next to your wiener cart.
You have a wiener cart.
I want a wiener cart so bad. Dancing wiener. If anyone's listening and they have the money to set me up with a wiener cart, I'm your man. Just hit me
Wow.
up.
This is some real 1920s business talk going on right now. Why, I hear the New York Knickerbockers are moving into the Madison Square Garden. They're going to need some people to sell down wieners down there.
And they're going to be vegan wieners.
Yo,
It gets better.
No, we're gonna split it. Let's split it. Let's like have non-vegan too.
Okay, our company just broke
no,
up.
why did you...
We were gonna have something called the pregnant wiener. I'm pretty sure it's a stuffed wiener.
It's a wiener and a wiener.
And it's called a pregnant wiener.
This is the most sideways the podcast has gone so far. And
I'm
I'd like
so
to
happy
congratulate
that
you
it-
for that.
Is it my fault?
Yes.
Have I done this?
I want to
It's
ask,
that hazard.
It's that hazard.
because
We always
did-
talk about pregnant wieners and hazard.
All right.
Yeah,
We-
they go
we-
together. Like
We
Mhm.
just came from interviewing Claire, who is from England
Yeah.
and has quite a strong accent. And we talked a little bit about her accent and some of the. Am I taking one of your questions?
yeah, that's like back end.
Oh, we're going to save that one. I'm going to put
Okay.
a pin in it.
Okay.
Uh,
But I'm prepared now. Should
Yeah.
I be leaning into the accent harder throughout the
No.
interview?
You should
Can
go in and
could-
out.
I like
Because
that
the thing
you
is,
turn
I
it
could
on
lie.
when you
Let
need
people
to.
try to decode it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just, you just get one drink in me, and all of a sudden, it's just popping right out.
What's funny is I've never lived in New York, but I have a New York accent when I get around my family.
Really?
Yeah, it comes out immediately. I
See-
had the accent until about 3rd or 4th grade, just because I talked at home with my family, so I
Yeah.
had the family accent.
I can't say who this was, but there was a member of my family who was hilarious, fantastic writer. I haven't seen him in a very long time, but he had this weird thing where, just one day, I was talking to him and he just had a Brooklyn accent. And I was like, why do you have a Brooklyn accent? He goes, what are you talking about? And I was like, you have a Brooklyn
Go
accent.
get some
And he
coffee.
was like, I really don't know what you're talking about. And then he just did that the rest of his life. I've never talked to him since then, and he's not had a Brooklyn accent.
When I came to California, I was talking to this guy, talking, and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Colorado," and he said, "I knew it,
Really?
but I don't sound like I don't have
That's
any
so
accent."
wild. You sound
Do you all
like
have an accent?
No,
you
don't.
sound like
No
Mork
accent.
from Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
I do. Thanks.
I feel like that would just be a thing that I'm going to start doing to make people feel seen. Like, where are you from? Colorado. I knew it.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Yeah, that
I
could
thought
be
you were
a
doing
tactic.
mean comedy.
Wait, speaking of comedy,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to ask. Go ahead.
Oh, then okay. I am curious when you do stand up, and I would really like to see you do stand up.
hmm
Is it that different?
No, it's not.
Yeah, your storytelling, and I love this about it. It has the rhythm of stand up. There's a thing, and I trust that you understand it because you never seem insulted by it.
Mhm.
But I love to have you go first.
Yeah.
And in comedy, we call it taking bullet. People hate going first, and it's usually a little bit of an insult. There's a hierarchy in the order.
Yeah.
In storytelling, that isn't the case. And the reason you're so good to go first is you have that comedy timing. You have that. You're gonna get the audience laughing right away. You're gonna get them engaged. So yeah, I'm curious. Like, what's the difference between Beau Ryder comedian and Beau Ryder Davis storyteller?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let me just interject and say to our audience, this was the very first story ever at In a Nutshell.
Oh,
It was
that's
the
true,
first
isn't it?
story
Oh, I guess
of the
so.
night, and it was our first show.
Oh,
That's
wow.
true.
You were taking our cherry. You
Oh.
were taking
Yeah,
our whole
aw.
town's
Oh, that if you could have told young Beau he would take a whole town's cherry one day, he'd be over the moon about that. He actually would have thought you were talking about fruit.
cherry. I'd like to think he knows.
I'd like to think he knows, Steve, somewhere deep down. I mean, to me, this is going to sound hella pretentious. Okay,
Good.
I have an agenda with my comedy. I want comedy to look more like what we do doing stories. Like, I don't think that stand up is really that far away from storytelling if done the correct way or done the way that I think I'm doing it. And I explicitly want it to look more like that. I think it's weird that there's definitely places where I would like, hey, here's 5 minutes of mine. Can I get time? And they'd be like, well, this is storytelling. Can you show us more stand-up stuff? And I was like, no, that's it will get just as many laughs and it will mean more in my experience. The way that I can get laughs through storytelling impacts the audience in a different way than when I'm doing, have you ever read the ingredients on the back of a Mars bar or what the fuck ever? Like, not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's just not what I like to do as much.
But does it go the other way? Does the comedy enhance if you're doing storytelling the same way that storytelling is enhancing comedy?
I think so. I mean, I think it depends on what you want to do. I think my favorite, like kind of organizational structure for a story, which isn't everybody's, but it's a tried and true. I was talking to David Rodriguez about this the other night. You'd have to have him on. He's amazing. Is one big joke to start, build up to second joke, build up to third joke, Dark Night of the Soul. Serious part where we learn a lot about ourselves and go through things. Biggest laugh, and then we end on a nice little thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's big.
Yeah. And like that sort of like storytelling form has worked for me, and it's been the thing that when people come up and talk to me after, it's not the stories that are just funny. It's usually the ones that have that little like, but then I was there and I said, is this what I want with my life? For some reason, it does work.
Oh, that's your Dark Night of the Soul? That was a really good
No, I tried really hard. The one that I'll do eventually at your show, if, God willing, is about my like grandpa getting sick. And I got done with the show recently and someone walked up and was like, literally the same thing happened to me this week, to the point that I feel like you might have just like known that and like written down what happened to me this week and told it on stage.
Wow.
And that feels a lot better than, getting laughs with something that's not that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about, have you ever told a story that has either no laughs or very little laughs?
No, I don't have the ego for that. I need people to laugh at me and find me funny.
I'm working on that myself. It's a beast.
No, I think there's definitely been a few that are less laugh heavy and more emotional. And maybe I'd like to do those. But honestly, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now are things that I see fitting together into like large kind of shows, so where I can do a lot of stories about a certain topic. And I've just not had the gusto to do a full-on dramatic thing.
A story that hopefully we'll be able to feature on here sometime in the future, but you going into the fortune teller.
Yeah.
What I kind of love about that story from you specifically is that you have all these great stories specifically about Hazard, and that story is so San Francisco. That's like the most Bay Area story ever told.
Thank you.
And especially the fact that it was $100 each.
Yeah, it was $125 before she knocked off the $25 discount for us. So yeah.
Those are some Bay Area prices, my friend.
Inflation
I didn't follow through with it, but I decided that night I was going to go start telling fortunes in the park just with a tip jar. But there's almost like you have something to draw from. You have something really valuable in a sack to draw from with your unique experience growing up in Hazard. Do you do a lot of like, I don't know, what's it like to you to like dip into your current life in San Francisco, where you certainly have a lot more competition reflecting on this city than reflecting on.
No, it's true. I feel like that's what I've been trying to do more and more of recently, is just talk about, it takes me like usually a year after something has happened to be like, okay, that's a story. Okay. Like I can tell that. I need to be able to like tell it enough casually for it to work. The storyteller, or the fortune teller, got sped up for the fact that I told it about 100 times in a week to people because I was like, you got to hear this shit. And then I was like, I think it's ready to tell now.
How long have you been doing this then?
What, just storytelling?
Yeah.
Oh, I was doing comedy. The first time I did comedy was at a summer camp when I was 15. And then I would go to summer camps every year with a prepared 12-minute set and do that.
Brilliant.
At the talent shows. Whimsical. There's one copy of me doing stand-up at 16 or 17 that exists online. And I went back because I remembered it recently and I was like, oh no. And I went back and watched it, and I thought that I had like always sounded like this, like I had never
Right.
had that thick of an accent. Oh, buddy. I'm up there like, well, hi y'all. I'm Beau Ryder Davis. It's fantastic.
Oh man.
Wow.
First 5 minutes are really solid. Everything after that's pretty bad. But I did that, and then when I went to college, I won funniest kid on campus at the University of Kentucky. That sounds impressive until you know that I was the only student that joined the thing, and everybody else was a bad local comedian that joined the competition. No offense to those folks that were there, but they were really bad. And
they called you kid, which is kind of
yeah. There was a 90-year-old man who entered the competition. I was like, this is funniest kid on campus.
Nice.
And the problem is he killed. He destroyed. Every joke was disgusting. Every joke was like the most gross shit. And he came with his wife, and she was howling the whole time. And I was like, I'm not going to beat, Rudolph and Gertrude over there. I'm done. But I won that, and then they let me host a comedy show. So I've been doing it regularly since then.
And so, but that's comedy. When did it kind of seg into the?
Honestly, the way I was doing comedy was
Right.
a lot like this. Like
Okay.
it was really stories that I thought were funny and worth telling. It usually would be like what happened to me this week at the university.
But you had to have gone to like a storytelling show at some point.
The Moth.
The
Yeah.
Moth.
I went to
That
the
was
Moth
your
when I was in
first?
Louisville. Yeah. Because I was going to comedy open mics where you're lucky to get in front of 7 people who are all other comedians that want to also do stuff. So they're not laughing.
And
because,
you realized yours would work
yeah.
in another environment.
Oh wow, and that must have just really opened things up for you.
And I was like, okay, I could go to the Moth and like it's 200 people
Yeah.
that actually give a shit and are there and are invested in it.
Because you are exposed to some of the same dark influences that I am,
Yeah.
I want to warn you
Uh-huh.
that Amy B
Yeah.
will push you
Okay.
out of that comfort zone
Uh-huh.
into the dark places.
Oh my
Okay.
And
gosh.
the next thing you know, you're standing on stage talking about your friend's suicide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just be careful.
Which one? Come on, no.
She's like, so you're a comedian, are you?
But who's the real Beau?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry.
No, that's
That's
good.
true, that's
That's
there.
no problem.
But speaking of that, I'd like to know what's your relationship with the audience? I feel like you have kind of a strange relationship with the
Ooh,
audience.
what do you think my relationship
Well,
with
I'm
the
not
audience
sure.
is?
I feel like you're slightly antagonistic, but it's
Ooh.
hidden,
Uh-huh.
so it doesn't feel unfriendly. But there's something,
That's
and then you
interesting.
also seem like you're hyper vigilant.
Yeah.
Like you're noticing people's reactions of quickly, immediately, and you hone in on it really quickly, and then you comment on it.
Yeah, no, I think that part I completely agree because, like, I think when I was doing the comedy show in the University of Kentucky, the Comedy Caravan at the University of Kentucky, huge show. Got to go out there sometime.
Okay.
Field trip.
It's a field trip. We got like the same people every week.
Wait, it's a caravan. Can't they come to us?
No, actually, the caravan is very stationary.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
very misleading
No
name.
wheels?
No. And like, you get the same people every week. It's very interesting because like, our shows were on Wednesday, and who are the people who are losers enough on a Wednesday that they would go to a comedy show at the University of Kentucky? Wow, there's 2 types of people. There are engineers, and there are performing arts students.
Why engineers?
Because they are not getting laid and they are not going to parties.
Sorry,
And-
any engineers listening.
I
No,
know.
I'm not.
But you know.
Yeah, and the thing is, they were my whole audience. I loved them. They were the best. But they were like, I would enjoy comedy, and then they would come. And then performing arts students are getting laid a lot, but they just like anything that's close to the stage. So they would come. And it's so bad to have an audience full of engineers and performing arts students because they don't laugh at the same things.
Right.
And so like I was really attentive to the room because we had the same we had a good sized crowd. We had eventually like about 100 people on average, but like the same 50 were there every single week. And so I just got good at like noticing when they would react to things, and then I could make fun of or go in on them. And I think I just kind of kept that part. Sometimes I'm a little too reactive to what's happening.
I wonder if maybe it seems just a little compulsive, a little bit like you're like 1 or 2 too many, like
No.
parrot back like 1 or 2, and
No, that is a flaw.
I'm not saying it's a flaw. I'm just
I appreciate that.
you're very, very focused on the audience.
No, that's true.
It's amazing. It's like it's pretty cool to watch. No,
it's actually a superpower.
it is totally.
No, I'm joking. I've never thought of it as antagonistic.
Slightly
antagonistic.
No,
I feel like what I hopefully am trying to do is I'm trying to just talk to them like I would talk to a friend. So maybe slightly antagonistic in the way that I would be antagonistic towards Keith for his mustache or his hat or the combination of his mustache and his hat.
Yeah.
But like he's not even wearing the hat, folks.
No. He is wearing the mustache.
He's wearing the mustache. He can't get rid of that.
Oh, he's wearing it.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't hot, my top button would be buttoned.
Ooh.
You guys need to know this is all. I'm trying to be an older Mexican man. I grew up in Corona. It was like 60% Mexican.
Uh-huh.
And I thought these guys were so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm 53 years old. I still have not accepted that I'm white. I'm trying to do what I can, and you guys just make fun of me. I am ethnically challenged.
You're making fun of me? I'm a 53-year-old man that doesn't know he's white yet, and you're making fun of me? I have a condition.
Have you guys noticed, what do you guys think about Beau's interaction with the audience?
I was surprised by your observation because I don't know that I had seen that.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's like a little bit of maybe antagonistic is strong. I would think he's kind of teasing.
Slightly.
He's kind of teasing the audience a bit,
Yeah.
like he's trying to like.
Yeah.
It's not quite crowd work, like you see.
Yeah, it's like some.
It's like a soft crowd work.
It's pleasant. It's very pleasant. It's like a bubble bath.
There is a thing. I think, and Beau, you can tell me if I'm getting in the right. If I'm getting close here, but I think in stand up, there's this thing where you have to be live. You have to not be a recording.
Yeah.
And in storytelling, we have some storytellers that are very, very writerly.
Yeah.
Where they're almost like poetic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a little less concerned with sounding like they're telling you something they memorized.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole illusion of stand-up is that we're just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And I think paying attention to what's going on in the room is part of what keeps us live. If something happens and we don't react to it, at that point we start losing them. At that point we are recording.
Yeah, at that point
we're
it's
not
like
there with them.
Yeah. Oh, this is practiced, and he's not actually connected with me right now. Right. Is what it feels like in the audience if it's at a stand-up show and that happens. And I feel like the way that I grew up watching storytellers still like stories in my family around the Thanksgiving table, like Thanksgiving, that's our Super Bowl because everybody's there. We've got like 50 people, and it's like stories until 3:00 in the morning. Like that, it needed to feel like they were telling you the story. They couldn't be remembering it and trying to like get a word right or a phrase right unless it was what something like someone said.
And you hit a point and one person laughs louder than everyone else. You zero in on them. Yeah. And you acknowledge that they laughed. Someone else says stupid out loud on accident, which people do. That's such a common tick to go stupid. And I'm like, that's not a nice word to hear. But you have to jump on it.
Yeah.
You got to respond.
Yeah. And just sort of see that and sort of let everyone know that we're in a state of play. You're inviting.
So you are kind of constantly reminding the audience then we're at a state of play.
Yeah. We're like all stepping into this thing where we're all. The illusion is that we're all equally like participating in the state of play.
So I think you're really good at that. I just want to make that clear. I think it's cool.
Oh, I know.
Cool
I was
thing.
just giving you a hard time. I should
because you're friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're friends.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. No, sorry. I shot back really hard with it is a flaw. That was just a joke.
I'm getting used to that. But I because you brought up the process. So does that mean you're not a person who writes stuff down because you are using some writerly terms here?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the 3-point conflict points to the rising action and all that. You're using different words, but
like typically I'll write out.
Oh, so you do write it out.
And not the whole story. What I'll do is I'll write out like a quick synopsis to be like, okay, I need to get here and then here and then here. And then I speak it out loud while recording it.
Yeah.
And usually I get like a good take and then I just listen to that for a few hours as I'm doing other stuff. I'll just kind of listen to myself tell the story.
Okay.
So it feels like I've got it.
That's a good idea. I haven't tried that. I did the whole first part, but not the re-listening to it for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, you get really used to your voice in
and
a way
you go to bed.
Yeah, you have a weird relationship with your voice after that. But that's how I would do it, and that's what's worked for me. Because if I am like writing stuff, it sounds so. The way I write is so different from how I talk that it just sounds so wooden, and I get really the purple prose starts poking
So you
out.
use the word sprightly, for instance, just in your normal.
I'm a whimsical guy.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I'm just making sure.
I like that you were like sprightly.
Sprightly.
Nobody would have fucking say it.
Not many people say sprightly.
It's a good point.
Let's bring in the accent conversation.
Yeah. Did you want to do that?
Go for it.
Sure. So you have the Arlo Guthrie effect. We just interviewed another storyteller who Claire, who has a delightful British accent.
Yes.
And it does do some of the work for you. It says a little bit about who you are and where you're from right off.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I also want to know if there's a flip side to that.
Yeah.
If there's times when it's hard to be taken the way you want to be taken because of your accent.
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. The power when you have this accent and you get pulled over for a speeding ticket is amazing. I've never been given a ticket because I'm just like, oh man, was I going quick there, officer? I'm sorry. That's on me, man. I was trying to get to the game. I'm going to a baseball game, something like that. And then they're just like, you're good, buddy. But like,
they do it back at you?
I've never gotten a speeding ticket.
You turn them southern.
I hit so hard. I almost feel like it's offensive, and I'm from there. I'm kind of doing a caricature of me.
I don't understand why it works.
Because they're like, he's just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
One of us.
Yeah. But no, I think it's definitely, the problem is like a lot of what I wanted to do with a few different stories is not just make fun of Hazard, but also humanize the people in Hazard to other people, which is like a weird thing to say. But like the people in Hazard, this is the strange psychology of people who live in Appalachia, believe that everyone hates them.
Okay.
I grew up thinking that everyone in this city hated me in particular. Like everyone here.
Oh, so you didn't mean everyone in the city.
Everyone in the city.
Hazard?
Everyone outside of Hazard. Well,
right.
Not outside of Appalachia. Okay. Even in Lexington. Like we felt, actually, to be honest, that was the only city that actually did look down on us because they were close and they were like, we know what you all are doing over there. But like they were we went to New York when I was a kid and my mom was like, we can't let them know we're from Hazard.
Okay.
And so there's this idea.
Wow.
Yeah. And that sort of fuels a lot of problematic views they might have outside of that, is this feeling of being othered, that they're not really. They kind of are and they kind of aren't. Like they're not really. They're mostly just like they're white people, they sound a little funny. But they truly believe that there is like a general plot against the people of Appalachia. At least I grew up thinking that. And I grew up knowing a lot of friends that felt like that. And when I got out of Hazard, I wanted to tell stories that I didn't feel like I was ganging up on Hazard and just doing bits and doing jokes about like, yeah, they are a bunch of silly rednecks, but also trying to make the people in Appalachia endearing and seem very like people you wanted to know and people you wanted to, like, I'd love to get a beer with that guy. Because I feel like on a certain level, if I could do that in a very small way, like could sort of knock down that sort of fake barrier that's not there, where the people in the region could feel like they weren't so hated, and maybe the people outside the region could think of us in one other way other than kind of poor and dumb. Yeah. Which, by the way, is definitely two characteristics. I don't want to push past that, but I think that there exists a lot of emotional and depth to Appalachia, and there's a lot of great art and a lot of great people, and I feel like it's never seen. And maybe if it was seen a little bit more, they wouldn't feel so othered. But also they're kind of being ridiculous. So it's a tough. Yeah,
it's complicated.
So I don't know if any of that made any sense.
But it did. But in this story, I think what's interesting is that you're kind of depicting them as being, sort of these characters like hyper masculine or whatever, but they don't seem to have a problem with you being different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was love throughout. I felt like there was this sense of love. Like they seemed like they loved you. Everyone in the story loves you.
You were the Bobby Hill of Hazard.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been trying to figure it out, and I think that's the way to put it. No, I think that is I think it's really accurate. My family was super loving, and I just got insanely lucky to grow up with a group of people that really cared about each other. It was such a foreign concept that you could be mean to your brother. Yeah. Like I remember making like a very mildly mean joke in the direction of my little brother, and my mom like just pulled over the car and was just like, "We don't do that. We don't do that. You say sorry." And I was like, "I'm sorry. I'm good. Please. I'm so sorry." So it was a great environment, and even like I said, I'd never had bullies growing up either. Like even though I was this crazily. Like, I was such a walking target. I was so happy all the time. And
how dare you?
Exactly. And I literally was on the playground being people like, "Oh, do you want to play kickball?" And I was like, "Nah, I just thought of a story. I'm going to walk over into the corner and talk it out in different voices while walking in a circle. But I'll see you after." And they'd be like, "Sick, that sounds cool." And then they would go play kickball. And no one would hurt me. Which is a very rare scenario.
But your cousins, the cousins that played in the bands, and that you were always trying to get their approval of, and they kind of, they saw you as a little goofy kid. As soon as they heard this story of you hitting your dad with a guitar accidentally, they were like, yeah, have a beer, kid.
Well, I think they thought of me as like, yeah, we don't really know what's going on with him. I don't know if he can be as on purpose, like, is he funny? I think was what they were wondering. He's like, he's funny, but is he funny? Right. And as soon as that story happened, they were like, he's got something. That kid's got something in there.
I just love the idea of them hearing you tell that story now and being like, it was a plastic fake guitar? Very different image do you have in like some flying V and they're like taking your dad out.
I think they knew that, but maybe they didn't. I think I went up and I think I got the weapon. The weapon. And I think I brought it to it was like, there you go.
Did
and
you
they
brandish
were like,
it?
Yeah.
Did you actually learn guitar?
I tried. So Luke was teaching me guitar and we got, lessons in. And then that's when Luke was like, "Hey, I'm moving to Nashville to follow my dream." And I was like, "Well, you need to stay because I'm still pretty bad at guitar." But yeah, I never really fully learned how to play it well, but he gave me lessons for a few months.
I hate that instrument.
Yeah.
I've spent so many hours on it and it's just, it's impossible.
Every time I tried to learn a musical instrument when I was a kid, my teacher would move away, and eventually I just got the hint. I was like, okay.
How did you decide to leave if you felt like there was this stereotypes about where you came from, but you still made the decision to leave, and how did it feel?
Yeah.
Out in the big world.
My mom and dad always treated it like, you're going to leave here. Like, it was never a question.
Oh.
My mom and dad almost got out of Hazard. Like, they planned on living in Lexington, which is, that's Easter Island for hillbillies. Like out of Eastern Kentucky, okay. we passed through Lexington for a little while, but eventually my mom got a job in Hazard, and my dad's dad called him and said, "Do you want to take over the family furniture business?" And so they both were pulled back into Hazard, and they had a complicated relationship where they loved it. And they were so happy that we grew up there. And now, they're not there. And they talk about it as if they were always sort of like, "I'm so glad we got out of Hazard." It's been a back and forth. And so it was always sort of treated when I was growing up like, you're going to get out of here and we want you to go somewhere else. And if you come back here, great. But you're going to go somewhere else for a bit.
So when you heard that, you would just immediately agreed with it? Or
Did any of your siblings resist?
No.
Did you know you would go to such an extreme as to San Francisco?
This sounds like made up and fake, but one of those nerd camps that I went to, I would go to like nerd camps at colleges during the summer, and I was like, I got used to being the hillbilly because the first one I went to, I was the only one who was just poor. And there was a lot of kids who were like, there was a kid who was a senator's son. I remember that. And I was like, wow, here with us? Why, Lord. And they called me Big Country, which, didn't scar me at all. And so anyway, when I was there, I took a filmmaking class because I thought I was going to be a director, obviously. And in that class, they showed us Vertigo, and in Vertigo, it's in San Francisco, and it was the first movie that I watched, even though I wanted to be in a films class. That was the first movie I watched that I was like, oh, this is like art. Like this really is like expanding how I can see how entertainment can also mean this much. And for some reason, I just fell in love with San Francisco watching that movie. I was like, how do I get there? Remember something I remember thinking when I was a kid.
So I think it's a good time to let our listeners at home kind of get an image of where we are right now. What floor are we on?
Oh, I think this is only like the second floor, but there's a nice little...
It feels like we're up so much higher because there's a huge drop. Yeah. There's a big hill. We are looking outside his window at this beautiful nighttime view of San Francisco, which is a gorgeous city.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you
really did San Francisco all the way.
Thank you. The icing on the cake, I didn't know I was going to get this apartment. Like, I didn't know I wanted this one. I came and saw it, and I was like, I'd be moving. It's tough. I don't know if this is the one. And then I walked up the street to the top of Nob Hill. There's just one more street up. And I looked up, and Madeline, the love interest in Vertigo, her apartment is right there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is
the one.
I got to. I kind of have to.
I love that Hitchcock plays such a role in your San Francisco life.
Yeah.
And what kind of movies did you want to make before you realized movies could be art?
Probably comedies. I probably want to make dumb comedies. Okay. And after that, I wanted to make thrillers that I couldn't write.
I love dumb comedies.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
They can be art.
They can be.
Well, but what's a dumb comedy?
So Monty Python's Holy Grail is so low budget and so efficient. Mm-hmm. And then me and my daughter just watched What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Also low budget.
That's great, but it's
so
a little
clever
long.
And so well written. I love movies like that.
Yeah, so good.
I'll stand up for Dodgeball. My top 5 is really pretentious until Dodgeball.
There were a bunch of movies at the same time that all had a similar feel, and that is one of the better ones. That was really fun. I loved him training them by throwing wrenches at their faces.
If you dodge a wrench,
if you can dodge a ball.
Did you ever do anything with film?
So I wrote a lot of screenplays in college.
Mm-hmm.
There was one where I knew like a writer at Adult Swim, and I sent over the screenplay, and he was like, I've got it in front of someone, and they said that they want more episodes. So I was like, I'm going to be massively wealthy so soon. And then I sent more episodes, and they said they were good. And I was like, like not that the episodes were good. They're good. They don't need any. Yeah. They were like,
we're full.
We're done. So I did a lot of screenplay writing, and but never really like made any short films. I kind of viewed myself as like a writer. And then just kind of went full time creatively on stand up and storytelling. But would love to.
You're a young man.
Well, why'd you switch to marketing?
Oh, because it's the greatest art we have, of course.
You just have to sell that chili.
How can I make money and do something vaguely creative? Well, I mean, to be honest, like my parents, my dad was, I wanted to be an English major, and my dad was like, I'm just gonna be real. We don't have a lot of money. And like, we can't really support you if you're going to do that shit. Okay. And I was like, okay. He was like, economics. That sounds smart.
Are you comfortable telling us what product you do?
Yeah, Kinder's. It's the best. Kinder's is a seasoning and barbecue sauce company mainly, though we just launched a line of frozen products, including wings and fries, and they're amazing.
Your accent helped at that interview.
Yeah. Well, I remember the CEO, and this is not something he would be upset sharing. He was like, when he was initially talking to me, he was like, our ideal consumer, the consumer we would want to bring in and make really like someone who buys Kinder's, is someone who is like, maybe they're not making a ton, but they want to give their family like just something a little bit better at dinner time, and like make them something that tastes really great. And that's who we want to try to bring in. And I was like, you have tailored this to me. I know that, but I appreciate it. And no, I love what we do, and I actually really love the company. It's been great, and it's good stuff. Buy it now.
Did your marketing career begin when you were a kid and your dad's company sponsored your baseball team?
I think that was the moment. I was like, a future.
Finally.
Yeah. No, I always interested in, as lame as it is, like I've always been interested in like brands and brand building and how you tell stories when it's like not a human, when it's like this entity and this idea, and like how do you position it to actually deliver on like something for a group of people, not just like marketing in the way of like, let's make everyone feel bad so they buy our product, but marketing in the way of like, can we actually give people something that makes their day a little bit better?
But do you use a lot of buzzwords then?
Oh, synergies. Hell yeah. If I hear anyone say double click, I leave a room. If they say like, can I double click on that? I turn, I walk away. I never speak to them again. But there's some buzzwords we use.
Okay.
You didn't like when I said consumers.
Nah, wait.
Hey, what?
Different podcast.
Lower income consumers. She was like, no. No.
I used to work with people with disabilities, and I wanted to call them my clients.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, there are consumers. And I was like, that don't sound good. That doesn't make them sound like they're... Our whole thing is they're like productive members of society and in non-segregated work environments, you know, out working in competitive employment. And then we call them consumers?
Yeah.
I was like, that's terrible.
I'm not sure where we all agreed to do that heinous practice. However, it is hardwired in now. Yeah. And customers aren't consumers. Customers are Walmart or the places that we sell our product to that people actually buy it at. So they're customers. Yeah, it's
the
a whole
consumers
thing.
buy it from your customers.
Exactly. Yeah. This part's riveting to people.
I mean, I'm
We
kind of
can
fascinated.
edit it out.
Yeah, please do. There's a lot that you'll have to edit.
No, I worked in marketing for 3 years, and I think it's it is interesting, the role of a storyteller.
Yeah.
In capitalism, if there is a place for us, it is in helping companies tell their story and marketing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, as someone who loves it as an art form, fucking hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say,
Very fair.
it's the downside of storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
so-
like literally is the downside of storytelling. It really like shows how, because our brains are wired for story, which is positive, and I'm always putting that in a positive light, but there's a negative, you know, it
we
also
can
leads
use
to
that
cults
to sell
and
you our widgets.
yeah, which sucks. I mean,
No, it's true. I think it matters what you're selling.
yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a small town where we handcrafted our widgets, and entire families would work together in the widget factory.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well,
Were they elves?
Their last
Yes.
names were Widgetson, Widgeton.
And
You knew
Widgerson.
the
Yeah.
Widgetons?
I knew the Widgetons.
Oh, I
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to school with the
No,
Widgetons.
honestly, best widgeters. There were some fantastic widgets came out of that
They
house.
could widget.
Oh, they could
really
widget.
could
All the way down. Yeah,
But is it honing your storytelling? So working
I think so. But also, I think it's just honing my understanding of like people, and not in like a nefarious, evil way. But like, a lot of what we do is just like I'm talking to real like people and just trying to figure out what they're like, what job can we fulfill for them. Like, there's something they could do, you know, whatever it is. They're not buying something that they would be like, oh, I would like this to be a little bit better, a little easier, a little quicker, whatever. And it's figuring out how you can actually like do that for them, and then how you could tell them through story, this is a thing that we can get you. And I think that, you know, is good. The problem is when you're selling dog shit, which I've done.
Like literally?
Yeah, in a bag dog shit. Did you not see that?
Wow, yeah.
We IPO'd a few years ago.
Back of dog shit.
Yeah. No,
I think we should
other
give him
brands.
another hazard and keep talking about the ads because he's getting a little.
The drink is going.
Let me
through
tell you
his
about ads.
head. What amazed me when I opened the bag of dog shit.
What'd you
then I
find?
thought, surely it's not really a bag of dog shit.
No.
And I was like, oh, it's a bag of dog shit.
We believe in truth in
We all
advertising.
looked at each other when it's a bag of dog shit. We were really excited, actually.
Yeah. No. And then when you found the Cracker Jack prize down in there, that was
And
really...
do you actually feed that to the dog?
Yeah,
Or do you
no.
put that in?
Again, it's the truth in advertising. You know,
Right.
we're not going to just put a Cracker Jack toy in there
No, got it.
falsely. That has to go through a dog intestine if it's going in our bag.